I've had the honor and privilege to moderate debates over the last several years in Lancaster County, and I thank the Chamber, the Lancaster News, and the citizens of Lancaster County for allowing me to do that. I'm proud to be the district manager for Duke Energy in Lancaster County, and this is really thrilling for me. But one lesson that I have learned over the years in moderating debates through several counties is you never save the thank yous until after the last question, because guess what happens? As soon as I say that was the last question, every one of y'all get up and run. So what I'm going to do is I've learned my lesson, so I'm going to do my thank yous before we get started. So again, I want to thank the Lancaster County Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank the Lancaster News. I want to thank Duke Energy for putting on tonight's forum. I think it's been very enlightening up until this point. I think it's been very open, and I hope everybody has enjoyed being here. Again, I am thrilled with the turnout. This has been just an outstanding turnout. And I also want to thank everybody who is willing to run. Whether you win, whether you lose, ladies and gentlemen, it's gutsy to sit at that table and put yourself on the line and answer questions that you don't know are coming. And I think every candidate deserves a hand. And finally, I just think we are all blessed to live in a country where we decide our leaders. And you're here because you obviously vote. And if you have neighbors, if you have friends, if you have coworkers that don't vote, write them hard, because we are blessed to have that opportunity. And finally, this is only round one. Next Tuesday, we're going at it again. Now, is it here, Dean? It will be here, and we're going to have, let me see, we're going to have the U.S. House District 5 seat. We're going to have the County Council District 5 and the school board candidates next Tuesday. So mark your calendars and come out and see us again. So with that said, my thank yous are out of the way, and we can get down to the final forum for tonight. And that is for South Carolina House District 44. And we're going to go ahead and go in alphabetical order, but just to let you know who's up here with us today, Republican Joseph Coy, who is our Republican petition candidate, Mandy Powers Norrell, who is our Democratic candidate, and Republican Ryan Payne at the end there. We thank you all for coming out. We'll start again to go over the rules. 2-minute opening, 2-minute closing, 2-minute on questions. Rebuttals are allowed. So, Mr. Coy, your 2-minute opening statement, please.
Thank you for coming tonight. One of the questions that have been asked to me a lot is, why am I a petition candidate? Well, I received this ethics book when I filed, and pretty much they were wrong, and that's why I went ahead and had to get petitions out and signatures. With that being said, I spent a great time talking to a lot of businessmen around the country. One of their main issues that they have had is we need skilled labor workforce in this area, and we're pretty much failing at that. We're the bottom fifth. We have the second highest in dropout rate, and I know it's ugly fact, but we need to sit there and correct that. I've looked at the vocational high school systems in a few different states, and I would like to bring it here. I would really love to sit there and get the manufacturing going back in this town. That is where the wealth begins, and that's the main thing I am actually pushing on my seat.
Ms. Powers Norrell.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce myself to you in my opening. I'm Mandy Powers Norrell. I'm running for House District 44. I grew up on Flat Creek Road, and both of my parents worked for Springs. It was always known in my family since I was a little girl that I was going to be the first in my family to go to college. And that was something that almost didn't happen when my mom became disabled when I was a teenager. But back in the late 80s and early 90s in Lancaster County, if you wanted a job, you had a job. All you had to do was go to the mill and they would put you to work. And that's what I did. I went to Grace Bleachery and they put me to work in screen printing. And that was a great job. We made things that were shipped all over the world, and we were constantly working. You could get all the hours you could possibly stand to work at Grace Bleetry. And working there taught me some very important lessons. It taught me how you treat people who depend on you, and it taught me the value of hard work. And it also taught me to work very hard in college, because it's rough to work in a place that doesn't have air conditioning in the summertime, especially a place that got as hot as screen printing. And that's what I did. I worked hard in college, and I got a scholarship to law school. Worked really hard in law school and graduated near the top of my class. And I decided I didn't want to work in a big city and a big law firm, because I knew that my calling was to come home to Lancaster County and represent my friends and neighbors, my former co-workers. And that's what I've been doing for the past 15 years. I've been working in government for the past 14 years, and in doing that, I see how Columbia is failing our families. And I'm running for District 44 because I want to change that.
Mr. Payne.
Well, thank you. I want to start off by thanking the Chamber of Commerce for putting this on, Duke Energy, Lancaster News, and Learn TV for all covering it and bringing us all together. And I want to thank Ms. Norrell, Mr. Coy for showing up tonight. And I want to thank everyone for coming out, because the most important responsibility we have as citizens is to know who we send to Columbia. And I wanted to take a few moments and kind of just introduce myself. My name is Ryan Payne. I'm the Republican nominee for House District 44. Was born and raised in Heath Springs. I'm 21 years old. Went to Andrew Jackson High School, where I graduated in 2009 as class valedictorian. Went on to get a 2-year degree at USC Lancaster, and just finished up my 4-year degree, actually a year early, at Clemson University. I'm getting ready to go to law school down at Carolina. I'm running for one simple issue. I want to change Columbia so that we can make a better Lancaster County. And I think there are 3 big issues that we have to address. Number 1 is taxes. Number 2 is infrastructure, and then number 3 is putting Columbia back on a budget. And as I talk with county business owners, taxes is the most important issue. And for me, there are 3 taxes that really need to be looked at. Number 1 is our sales tax. In South Carolina, we actually exempt more in sales tax than we take in. We exempt $2.5 billion. We take in $2.3 billion. And so what I'd like to see is us close those loopholes and cut our sales tax rate to 3% so that we have a low flat rate for everyone. I also think we need comprehensive income tax reform, and we need to address taxes like the manufacturing property tax. Roads, we have to reform SCDOT and SCTIB to make sure that road money goes into to road maintenance and road creation. And then finally, we have to eliminate unnecessary projects in our budget. And I want to touch real quick, if I can, and say I wanted to start out tonight with a joke. So if many of you noticed, I wheeled on in here, and I can say that I've honestly put more blood, sweat, and tears into this campaign than the other 2, because as I was getting ready, we were putting together some campaign signs Friday night. I fell and broke my leg and part of my ankle. So I look forward to having a debate. It's great that I can sit down tonight, and I want to thank y'all for being accommodating to me. And I look forward to having and discussing our plans and going through this process. So thank y'all.
Okay, Mr.